All right, there we go. Peace to the guys and goddesses, kings and queens, emperors and empresses, chiefs and chiefesses, and priests of the motherfucking land. Hope you're having a great cosmic night or rising, depending on when you catch this video. Let me see if I can get rid of this thing right here. There you go. Should be on my shit for a hot minute, but oops. I just had to fix some shit. Hope y'all doing good, man. Peace once again. Peace to the guys and goddesses, kings and queens, emperors and empresses, chiefs and priests of the motherfucking land. Hope you're having a great cosmic night or rise, depending on when you catch see this video. The day after tomorrow. That's gonna be the title of this video. I hope y'all staying warm, of course. You know, that's pretty much all I can say. I just hope y'all staying warm, bro. Y'all staying safe. Hopefully school out for some of you little niggas. Hopefully work out for some of you, you know, grown niggas. You know, me, I couldn't go to work today because work was out. Not only that, bus routes are shut down today. So, you know, I basically got a three-day weekend because I'm off tomorrow. I was supposed to work today, but we couldn't because the fucking roads was like heavily frozen. Yeah, the roads was heavily frozen. And shit, I just led a nigga to being off today. Because I was off yesterday, off today, and then I'm off tomorrow. So, 3-day weekend for me. I can't even be mad at that. I need this rest. Because they've been... Once I work this week, towards the end of this week, nigga, I got to work 7 days straight. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Tuesday, I think. Then I'm off that Wednesday. Or no, I'm off that Thursday. So, yeah, Wednesday. So, yeah. Anyways, enough about my life. I hope y'all doing good. The day after tomorrow, man. The day after tomorrow. The reason why I'm saying that is because we finna talk about a lot with this winter storm, bro. Now, y'all know me. I know I said I wasn't gonna cover, you know, current events and shit like that. But I feel like this was one that I had to cover. I'm gonna turn my fan on real quick. It's a little hot in here. You know, we got the fucking heat blowing in this bitch. But I didn't think it was gonna get that hot in my room because I got a heater in my room too, so I think it kind of made it a little too hot. But anyways, yeah, this storm, bro. You know, I know I said I was gonna, but I gotta cover this shit right here. This is kind of interesting to me because I want niggas to pay attention, right? So let me first of all, niggas in the South, this was a money move, but this was a real like, I don't know how to explain it, bro. Like, they knew people was gonna panic, bro. Put it like that. They knew people was gonna panic. And the reason why I say that is because anything they blow up out of proportion on the news, niggas is gonna, you know, niggas is bots. Remember, niggas is NPCs. Most of the people that panic was NPCs, bro. You know, buying up everything out the fucking store. Like, you know, I work at a grocery store, nigga. I'm looking and all the fucking meat is gone. And I'm like, and then now that I look now, okay, the North. If when we talking the North, like Memphis, Kentucky, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Oklahoma, North Dakota, South Dakota, Arkansas, shit like that. Minnesota. When we talk about those, now them motherfuckers, they used to the shit though. I'm not gonna lie to you, they used to the shit, but they still gotta prepare for that shit because they really was the ones that got hit hard. Because right now there is people. They said it's like 1 million people with no power right now, which is crazy, gang. They say it's 1 million people right now with no power. So like, you know, this storm definitely came with an impact. It came with an impact. It was the South though that got into fucking panic mode. You know, they fooled the South into a money play. You feel me? They fooled the South. They used northern shit to fool the South. That's what they did. So you got niggas all in the South getting scared and this, that, and the third, buying up all the fucking meat, right? Because at my store, all the fucking meat was gone. Nigga, like, it was the end of the night closing. Nigga, I look up at the beginning of the day, it's some decent amount of meat there. Pause. But, nigga, when it was the end of the night for closing, I turn around and look. I'm like, what the fuck? There's no chicken. There's no ground beef. There's no sausages. I'm like, what are y'all gonna do with that much meat? When it comes to, first of all, this is why I say a lot of people would not survive an apocalypse because niggas is not mentally equipped. Niggas is not mentally equipped. People in America is not equipped for for a World War III or an apocalypse of any sort. Because look at the mentality of niggas. Remember when COVID first came? What did niggas buy? Tissue. What the fuck you gonna do with all that tissue, nigga? You need to be buying batteries, a flashlight, a one of them wind up junks or the battery junks. It don't matter. The wind up junks really OP though. I ain't gonna cap, because you don't gotta put no batteries in them. You just keep winding them up. But yeah, you supposed to buy shit like that. Maybe some candles, you know, lanterns and shit. The lights go off. You know, peanut butter, crackers, canned beans, canned corn. You know, some rice, because you can easily boil some rice, nigga, in any apocalyptic situation. Like, you know, some corn, you can easily cook that up. Some ravioli, canned goods is where it's gonna be at. Canned goods is where it's always gonna be at, my guy. For real. Hold on, I just rolled this shit, but I'm finna gift wrap that hoe and some, so it burns slow, because my papers be burning. I got a cigar that I don't even need, that I really ain't even using, so I'm finna put it around this bitch. Make that hoe burn slower. But yeah, niggas is buying up all the fucking meat. So let me let me put me on the face cam for y'all, so it's like extra big, you feel me? Y'all ain't gotta keep looking at that background, but yeah, niggas bought up all the meat. I'm like, y'all not buying no peanut butter, no crackers, no canned goods. That's gonna last you. You nigga, canned goods is cheap. I see why. I ain't gonna lie, canned goods might be the move, my nigga. Like, just to have. I'm not even gonna lie, just to have them bitches. Like, not even on the, like, canned goods is literally the move, bro. Literally, corn, beans, what else come in canned goods? You know, it's a lot. Corn, beans, peas, green beans, string beans and shit. You know, canned goods is where it's gonna be at. Peanut butter, that shit is where it's gonna be at too, because that shit, it gives you the protein that you need. You feel me? If peanut butter gonna fill you up, put it like that. When you got that shit, it's some oatmeal, nigga. Like, you want dry goods and you want canned goods. Shit that's gonna expire 2 or 3 years from now. You see what I'm saying? You could buy a bunch of that shit. That all that shit gonna expire, at least it's gonna take a year, or so. Canned goods take like, I don't know how long them shit take like a few years, I think. But because you know they're canned, they're vacuum sealed, so it take longer for them hoes to deteriorate, and they have a longer shelf life. That's the word I'm looking for, shelf life. So, you know, canned goods is always gonna where it's gonna be at. Peanut butter. So I'm like, what the fuck is niggas buying meat for? Just like, I was at the gas station on break with my homie, right? Right before this storm hit. I think it was Friday. And I'm talking to this bitch in the store. I'm like, you got some waters, you know, I can buy off you, because niggas bought up all the fucking waters. I was gonna buy me some water. Niggas bought up all. Luckily, I was able to find me some waters, though. You feel me? Shout out HEB. Luckily, I was able to find some waters, though. Big gallons, nigga. You can never go wrong with having water on deck. But yeah, niggas bought up all the fucking waters, panicking and shit. I'm like, damn, nigga, I need me some water, because, you know, I make hydrogen water too. I got like a little canister. You feel me? Oh, it's about to die. I gotta charge it up. But yeah, this makes hydrogen water. It puts H2O in it, and it kind of removes a lot of the oxygen. So yeah, you know, niggas bought all that up, and I'm like, okay, I gotta find some fucking water now. And then on top of that, I'll talk about later. You know, on top of that, I'm like, okay, y'all niggas bought up all the meat. You bought up all the water. Um, you know, which, okay, water makes sense. You feel me? You would need to buy that up. But it's just like, when I was asking the lady at the store, I'm like, you got some water? She's like, I didn't get any water. She's like, I just got snacks. I'm like, you a dumb little white bitch. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, them Caucasoids be dumb than a motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie to you. And see, I could talk about Caucasoids, nigga, because fun fact about me, which I don't know, is I'm gonna tell y'all something, nigga, my granny told me. My granny was able to play in the hood. Remember, during my granny times, racism was at an all-time high. Nigga, my granny and her two other brothers was able to play with white kids, nigga. Black kids wasn't even supposed to be around white kids in that time. But you want to know why? Because nigga, my great grandfather, basically my granny's granddaddy was white. Had a mulatto son. And that mulatto son met a black woman. Then that, you know, kept the gene. Luckily, niggas kept the gene strong. But niggas tried to bump into my bloodline at a certain point. But my great granddaddy, my great granddaddy, either 2 times or 3 times. But basically my granny's grandfather was a grand wizard of the KKK, nigga. He was white. He was a grand wizard of the KKK. That's what she told me before she died, nigga. Before my granny passed last year, nigga. She told me that. Because I was trying to get a lot of information out about who my family is and where we come from. You know, especially when it comes to the Indian lineages and shit like that. But I'm like, damn, nigga. How the fuck this nigga man? How y'all let this nigga squeeze into the bloodline? What the fuck y'all doing messing with a grand wizard? And what is a grand wizard doing messing with us? So you Caucasoids, I could talk shit about y'all all day, nigga, because I got, for some odd strange reason, one of y'all peoples was managed to sneak up in my bloodline, bro. But luckily we was able to keep it black over here. You feel me? Because like I said, you know, my granny's dad, not her granddad, but my granny's dad was mixed because of her grandfather got with the KKK nigga got with a black woman. I guess he wanted some, you feel me? Or maybe probably some forceful shit took place. That could be a case too, but I highly doubt that. Because a lot of people on that side of my family, on my granny side, is from the military. They all military based. So I don't know. It might have been through military means how niggas met. But yeah, my great granddaddy on my granny side was mixed, but my great granny on my granny side, which would be her mom, was full on, like, I think she was Haitian or something. She had to been Haitian or something, because when I seen pictures of her, she dark than a motherfucker, like African dark. So I'm like, damn, she got to be like Haitian or something. And then they end up having my granny and then 2 other brothers, dark as all get out. So when it comes to the car, I know that threw y'all off. I just had to throw that in there because I want to let the Caucasoids know I could talk about y'all as much as I fucking want to, nigga. I could talk about y'all as much as I want to, nigga. I got nigga got birthright. Nigga got birthright to do that. Not only that, we made y'all niggas. Anyways, but yeah, like I said, back to the ice storm shit. I asked the lady, did she got any water? She's like, I just bought snacks. I'm like, you a dumb little Caucasoid bitch. You a clone. It was just so dumb. Like, I'm like, you didn't buy no canned goods or nothing, nigga. Like, nothing. No peanut butter. No tuna, nigga. At least canned tuna last you a year. So like I'm saying, you can't beat canned goods, nigga. Even if it ain't no apocalypse. Nigga, them hoes gonna come in clutch when your good food start running low, nigga. When your good food start running low and all you got is some canned stacks of canned goods, hey, grab you one of them bitches and whip something up. Simple. Get you some oatmeal, whip something up. So niggas act like this ice storm was moving like prime LeBron on 2016 Cavaliers. Well, actually, let me take that back. This storm was moving like prime LeBron. Cause let's pull it up. Let's pull up the facts, right? Let's pull up the facts. Ice storm. I spelled that shit like a Russian. It's a bad storm. Me need Volko to stay warm. Snow and ice put up final stand. So North Carolina, like, man, they was saying hundreds of homes see power restored. So like Texas, like I didn't even know power went out in Texas. Central Texas winter storm. Austin ice storm impacts. Like, we didn't even really get hit that hard, gang. And whoever power went out in Texas, I'm so sorry, gang, because I can't relate. I can't fucking relate. My shit didn't go out. Now, I will say some strange shit happened. Like, 1 or 2 outlets went out in my room, which I believe that's some other shit that I just got to get fixed. But I ain't nigga finna get ready to switch locations soon anyways. So yeah, here we go. Can y'all see this? Hundreds of homes see power restored as Texas battle ice storm. So niggas got they shit. And y'all gotta remember, this is 2026. This is not 5 years ago when the technology was still a little. We in 2026 now where technology is OP. When ever since AI became what it became today, technology is OP, my boy. So we niggas is panicking like we finna lose power and shit like how we did. And well, I wasn't here 2021 in Texas to experience that shit. I got here the year after. So niggas is panicking. And two, I think I was in ATL if I'm correct. I was in ATL when that shit happened. Oh God. No, my bad. I wasn't in ATL. I was in Michigan. I was in Michigan when that big ass ice storm hit the fucking whole United States. Cause nigga, we had a fat ass blizzard come through that that time that happened. But Michigan built for that shit. They got the power lines, they got all the shit they need for that shit. Salt trucks, like they got trucks dedicated to driving the roads all day long, just putting salt on them bitches so the roads stay fucking, not overly iced. The roads stay fucking dry where niggas can drive on it. But here in the South, niggas not equipped for that. But now in 2026, I feel like niggas was equipped for that. Because niggas didn't get hit. Like it says right here, Central Texas residents had their power restored as of 11:55 Sunday a.m. on Sunday, which was today. A total of 143 customers are still waiting. A major decrease from nearly 1,000. It was 1,000 people that had no power. This wasn't like fucking 2021. Hold on, let me pull it up for y'all. Cool, y'all can do that too. Y'all can be assholes and not let me fucking type. Thank you. Let me show you. Hold on. Where is that? Excuse me. Hold on. Nigga, it was like 1 million people. They said like 1 million people was without power, bro, when that shit happened. I don't think I can find it, bro. Yeah, I don't think I can find it. And look, stable polar vortex disrupted. So this is what happens. We gonna get into this. I'm gonna leave this. As a matter of fact, let me open this in a new picture. We gonna explain this shit, right? This is why I said the day after tomorrow. We got some geostorm shit taking place. If you watch those movies, the day after tomorrow and geostorm, watch them bitches. Let me go here. Hold on, go back. Gang. Hold on. No, this is this year, my bad. I want to see the one from. I was just looking at it the other day, bro. And now they don't want to show me. Now they don't want to show me the statistics. Look at this. Look at that. Hold on. Let me keep going. Across the 70. See, I can't find how many people, bro. It was like 1 million people because it's a lot of people that live in Texas, bro. And it got up to like here we go, more than 4.5 million homes. That was in 2021. 4.5 million, nigga. Nigga, we only, how many people lost power in Texas? Nah, we ain't gonna say the whole America. No, we talking Texas. 4.5 million in Texas. That's how many people in fucking Texas. Most of the United States population is in Texas, nigga. But yeah, 4.5 million homes. Now let's look at 2026. Let's see how many people lost. Let's see in 2026. They said about 70K. That's it. 70K. That don't even come. That's like a candle. Nigga, that's like holding a candle next to a flamethrower. When we look at this compared to 2021. And the reason why we didn't see a repeat of what happened in 2021 is because niggas was prepared for it. Texas knew about that. They the past what? We had wait, how many winter storms we had before this? We had plenty more after 2021, bro. We had plenty more. And Texas prepared themselves for those. You feel me? They been prepared. They know them niggas prepared for this shit. They like, look, I understand we ain't like the North, but we do need to have some shit on protocol and on backup so we don't have a repeat of what happened in 2021. So yeah, they was able to fool the fuck out the South. that this shit was gonna be moving like prime LeBron in the fucking 2016 Cavs, the 2016 finals, nigga. No. Now, in January 2025, 2026, a million people did lose power. Tennessee, damn. Tennessee, 300,000. Mississippi, 149,000. Louisiana, 138,000. Texas, 50,000 to 100,000, which is kind of good for Texas because it ain't compared to 2021. And then Kentucky, Georgia, Alabama also reported significant widespread outages. A monster winter brought in freezing storm, blah 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 blah. So 11, damn, niggas died already. 11 dead, nearly a million without power. So this was today that they posted this. So yeah, this shit's still kind of going on. A million Americans don't have power right now, which is interesting. Others reported, around 850,000 customers will still be without electricity by Sunday evening. So they gonna see that they gonna see they shit back on tonight or tomorrow. They shit probably back on. I ain't gonna lie, a lot of these folks, they shit probably back on right now. Especially Tennessee, because Tennessee got hit with plenty of winter storms, bro. They got the shit built for that. I know they power grid. I lived in Memphis for like 6-7 years, nigga. No, let me chill that. 7-8 years. I about to say 6-7, but nah, 7-8 years, nigga. And I know they grid well enough that they shit can withstand shit like this. And they shit probably on back on right now. So yeah, a lot of these people should see they shit on tonight or tomorrow. So it's not, that's another thing. Last year, this shit ain't compared to last year. Niggas was out without power for like a week or 2 weeks. Niggas didn't have power for like 2 weeks. At least this shit was like 2 or 3 days. Niggas good. So yeah, niggas act like this bitch was moving like, oh. Niggas act like this shit was moving like prime LeBron. Come on now, they act like this winter storm was moving like this. Prime They act like that motherfucker was moving like this LeBron right here. Like, no, chill out. So now I want to get into the nitty gritty of this shit, right? Let me bring back my face. So, like I was saying, this storm wasn't as bad. But it did come with an impact. And the storm was, of course, it was geoengineered because 2 days before this storm came, it was like 60, 70 degrees here in Texas, bro. Warm as shit. But I noticed they were spraying chemtrails like a motherfucker for those 2-3 days we were still warm. And then when this storm came, after this, after they hit this shit with trails, like I noticed it was supposed to be sunny. Let's see, that Thursday, if I'm correct, yeah, that Thursday it was supposed to be sunny. And that Wednesday, but they started spraying so fucking much that they literally created an overcast. And the next day it wasn't gonna be sunny no more. Like it went from seeing sunny on my phone to now it's gonna be an overcast. I'm like, I know why, because y'all spraying the fuck out the skies. I'm seeing 10, 20 different planes leaving trails, and these trails don't disappear because they say it's supposed to be condensation trails, contrails, where they, the planes in the air, the engines is hot, the air is cold up there, so it leaves these steam trails, condensation, and then it disappears. Them shits don't disappear. Them shits spread and they get bigger and they turn into a whole overcast. I don't know what the fuck that is they're spraying up there, but I've been aware of that shit since like maybe 15, 16 years old. I'm like, bro, what is that they keep spraying up there, bro? And I had to Google, I found out about geoengineering, cloud seeding, and shit like that. I found out that shit was real. So I'm like, damn, they really manipulating the weather. And then my granny told me about HAARP. And I got that shit put over here. She, like, when I was 12 years old, I remember we was sitting on the porch. It was a nice summer rising, boy. Birds chirping and shit. She got her coffee. I just like sitting out there with her. And we had, a dog too at the time, Bella. Have her outside doing whatever. And me and my granny just be talking. And then I remember she got to talk to me one time, like, grandson, do you know what HAARP is? I'm like, what is that? She's like, it's called she's like, you spell it HAARP, and it can engineer the weather. It can manipulate the weather. Look it up. That's what she told me. I'm like, You know, and I'm thinking like, man, my granny crazy as hell. You know, she just saying some shit. You feel me? You know, I'm a youngin'. You know how he is towards our elders. We like, man, our elders don't be talking about shit. But then I said, fuck it. You know, let me look it up. You feel me? Because I always was a science kid. You know, I like space and shit like that. So I'm like, fuck it. Let me just look into it. Got my little phone that I had at the time, Google Harp, and I was like, damn, this shit real. I was like, this shit. They talking about how it's is used to produce these frequencies that does ion, you know, specific types of ionizations in the atmosphere that produces, you know, weather phenomenons, weather events. And I'm like, damn, they really manipulating weather. You know, I thought my granny was capping, but she wasn't. Rest in peace, my granny. But she, you know, she wasn't capping. So, you know, I started. My granny was like the gateway for me into look into a lot of shit. You know, she was the one telling me about critical race theory, redlining, gentrification, you know, HARP, you know, Illuminati and shit like that. Like she was the one telling me all that shit. And I had to go look at my mom didn't tell me shit. I didn't learn shit. The only thing I really learned from my mama was the movies that she played, like The Matrix, Fifth Element and shit like that. That was her way of showing me shit, was through the movies. But like strictly information and scientific information, my granny was on point with that shit because she always researched. And that made that, you know, end up rubbing off on me, and I started doing what she used to do, just research, look into shit. And I'm like, damn, this what did so HARP. You have HARP, you got the geoengineering that they be spraying in the air, and then you got the towers. And they use these three combos, these three things as a combination to manipulate the weather. So this is why I got this picture put up, right? Make sure y'all can see this. Polar vortex. You can have a stable polar vortex. Polar vortex. This is at the North Pole. This is always taking place. This vortex is always here. There's one at the bottom too. But this is always here because why? That's the North Pole. There's a lot of magnetic energy taking place. And the reason why it's a vortex because that's the entrance to the torus field. The torus field looks like what? Torus field looks like what? Here we go right here. A vortex. This is Earth. The polar vortex at the top and then one at the bottom. So that's one of the entrances. But when this vortex gets disrupted, it begins to these big ass bands of cold air begins to move south. They call something called an Arctic blast. This is what you call an Arctic blast. When this shit gets disrupted, this begins to push out, it spills everywhere, and it goes for, and this cold air is able to reach further south when this vortex is disrupted. um and the warm air begins to rise north as this cold air begins to push south. So it's like, you know, all that warm air that's down there now is being pushed up because now it's like, damn, I gotta move out the way for this cold air to sit down here. So that's what we got hit with. That's where this storm just came out of no fucking where, because usually around this time this vortex always gets disrupted. How? I don't know. But this vortex is really supposed to always be stable, which is interesting. So this would, you know, let's get to this, right? We got HARP. Where's HARP located at? They have multiple. Whoa, whoa, hold on. Icky do it, Gilgamesh. Hold on. Icky. So this is do they have multiple harps? Hold on. Harder. No, there's only one harp. Well, I don't know why this one's saying it's a whole map of them bitches, but we gonna. I ain't gonna lie. I believe there probably is other hearts. They just name different. Like, look, Area 51, because they perform a lot of atmospheric shit too. But let's just go here. Where's HARP located at? Is not located in, or they could have put HARP anywhere else. Think about it. They could have put it anywhere else. They could have put it in Canada, somewhere over here. They could have put it in Oregon. They could have put that bitch in Cali, or they could have put it next to Area 51, or they could have put it in Maine, or they could have put it in Michigan. They put it all the way at the fucking top where Alaska is at. Close to what? The North Pole. Alaska is close to what? This polar vortex. Look, It's in the polar vortex. Hold on, let's look this up right. Let's look this up right. Let me show y'all the polar vortex. Look at this. It's in the polar vortex. This is how it look. Alaska's way up here. So when this gets disrupted, I'm just saying, I'm not saying HAARP is the one disrupting this vortex. I'm just bringing you the breadcrumbs. I'm bringing you the puzzle pieces. You got to do what you can to put them holes together. You feel me? But just notice, HAARP is in Alaska. Now, what is HAARP? The high frequency active auroral. Let's look up the etymology of auroral. Aurora means the dawn, goddess of the dawn, goddess of the morning, goddess of the rising, the south wind. Borealis, northern. So the goddess in the north. But let's do aura. Etymology of aura. Gentle wind, breeze, or air. So they're messing with the atmosphere. What is the atmosphere? The air. Hold on, I gotta go back. My bad. I gotta go back. Here we go. Ooh. So when you hear auroral, think about the atmosphere. They're fucking with the atmosphere. So high frequency active auroral research program is an ionospheric. So they always ionize some shit in the atmosphere. Located in Guntkona, Alaska, operated by the University of Alaska Fairbanks. It uses a 33. Let's look at that number, 33 off a 180-degree angle. Peep gang. 3 times 3 is 9. 1 plus 8 is 9. And then plus that 0, that's still 9. But come on now. Or we can say 3 plus 3 is 6, sitting at 6 and 9. That's 6 and 9 energy. Or 6, 7, 13. We can do the numerology on this all day. From subtracted to added to multiplying. I can do it many ways, but look at that number. 33-acre array of 180 antennas. And this is what the antennas look like. 33 acres of land. Look, 33 acres of land with 180-degree antennas pointing towards what? The sky. And I want y'all to peep. See, I get deep with this shit. Niggas, I'm telling you, all these niggas that's out here claiming they spitting conscious information, they claiming they leaders. They're not leaders, bro, because they can't do the science. They can't do the science. If they can't do the science like this, they not spiritual for real. Real spiritual motherfuckers love science, bro. Now this is where I'm gonna fuck y'all heads up at, right? Look at the shape. First of all, it's pointing towards what? It's 33 acres of land in Alaska near mountains, probably some pyramids, and it's in the north where the polar vortex is. Now, peep game, right? They got 180 of these off the 33 off the 30 the 33 degree angle, 33 degree Freemasons, 33rd parallel, the 33 chakras or 33 vertebrae in the spinal cord. We can keep going all day. Jesus died at the age of 33. You know what they doing. And they're pointing towards the sky, X or a cross. You feel me? Notice the shapes they're using, a cross to create the square, the geometric square, using the energy of the Saturnian energy, the Saturnian black cube, which also, boom, off the base of that square, look what they have, a pyramid. I'm telling you, look at the geometria, nigga. Not geometria. Look at the geometry, nigga. The sacred geometry that they use in here. And they have them all perfectly aligned. Look at this. They measured this. They didn't just go in and put these bitches. They made sure they were not a centimeter off. Because if it was, this shit was not gonna work. I'm telling you, gang. They know what they doing. They have poles, magnetic, electromagnetic, probably mostly made of silver and gold poles pointing towards the sky with pyramid shapes off the X north, off the 4 corners of the earth, or the 4 elements of the earth. Look at that, the cross, north, south, east, and west. And then the pyramid with the ball at the top, like the all seeing eye. You know, you see what they doing, game. Look, zoom in on this shit. Can I zoom in some more, nigga? Get me in there. You mean get me in there? Look, they know what they're doing. Pyramid, square, off the X energy. So, like I said, they had to make sure this shit was perfectly aligned so they could tamper with the atmosphere. This is why they say planes can't fly above this when they're conducting tests, because the frequencies of these are so strong, it would literally just shut off the plane, and the plane would just fall out the sky. And this has happened. Oh God, this has already happened. When they first built this bitch and got the testing this shit, that's a plane flew over that bitch by mistake, and that bitch lost power. Oh God, that bitch lost power, and that bitch, you know, it wasn't. Luckily, I don't know if it was people on there or not. Like, I don't believe it was a commercial plane. I believe it was like a military plane, and niggas was able to, you know, still eject or you know, probably safely crash land that bitch. But yes, that they you can't planes can't fly above this bitch. It's proven. It's a law actually. No planes can fly above this bitch when they're conducting any kind of. They're always on. So you know, because they gotta continuously manipulate the weather when they're spraying shit. Um, and, you know, a lot of people think it's the towers, you know, the 5G towers. I mean, yes, they do kind of play a part in it, but this is where all the heavy lifting is being done from, is HARP, um, which is in Alaska. And what was I about to say? I was about to say something. Um, oh yeah, the planes. Yeah, you can't have no planes fly out this bitch when it's active because they will just shut off the plane and then the plane will crash land out the sky. So it uses a 33-acre array of 180 antennas to study the ionosphere by heating small sections with high frequency radio waves. So they're manipulating the weather. This research aims to understand communication, radar, and satellite navigation system. And it says it is not capable. Look, they had to put this in here because people been seeing this for years. That this motherfucker it manipulates weather, and it has something to do with uh manipulating the brainwaves of a human being. And it says investigates the upper atmosphere, ionosphere, magnetosphere, which are so why are they studying the ionosphere and the magnetosphere? This is where a lot of electromagnetic energy takes place that formulates these storms. Why you think when you see a damn a thunderstorm, that bitch be electrified, shooting lightning and shit? Because it's charged up from the magnetosphere. All that energy that's been, you know, when that's why we see a lot of storms during summer and shit when it get hot, because all that solar energy builds up in the atmosphere, and then that heat is evaporating that water, and then when that water turns into them clouds and shit, it's absorbing more heat because these clouds, they when they first get in the air, they white, and then after a while they turn dark. That's why clouds turn dark, like because they uh water is the perfect absorber of radiation. So what is heat? Radiation. That's all that is. And it's absorbing all that solar radiation, and it turns them bitches dark. And now that the reason why they turn dark like that is because they're full of electrically charged energy and magnetically charged energy from the sun. And then boom, now this bitch get to clapping thunder and lightning and shit and tornadoes and shit. Because it has to release that energy. That energy can't stay built up in the clouds. That it has to release that tension. Um, so the fact they're studying these specific atmospheres, layers of the atmosphere, is interesting to me. The magnetic and ionosphere, where a lot of weather takes place, which are 100 kilometers or more above the Earth's surface, far above the weather-producing atmosphere cap. That's cap. It's literally right above it. Anyways, capabilities. The facility is often described as the world's most capable high-power, high-frequency transmitter and can create artificial air glow and conduct plasma experiments, which is interesting. So basically, it can create artificial aurora lights, like the aurora borealis that niggas be seeing at the northern poles, the northern lights. It basically can create artificial air glow, or it can make the air glow like the northern lights. And it, you know, makes sense because they're in the fucking north where this shit takes place at. So I want y'all to just peep Peak game on all this. Heart. Where look, this is people this might be AI, I don't know. But look, this is a better, like a much better picture of these satellites. Look at this. Look at this. Look how it's gridded. This is perfectly measured. Perfectly, not an inch off. Not an inch more or an inch less, nigga. Right in between. Perfect. Look at this. So they can perform what they need to perform. Shit, I wouldn't even be walking under this shit. I feel like this shit'll fry your fucking brain if it was to turn on. Where we at? So yeah, notice that they're located right here in Alaska, where this vortex is at. And every time, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because it's been getting oddly warm during. We had an 80-degree Christmas. That's not normal. Most places was hot as shit during Christmas, my nigga. We had an 80-degree Christmas. When the last time you ever had a Christmas that fucking warm? You never did, nigga. You never did. So I mean, unless you live in like fucking Africa or something, or Florida maybe. But in northern states, nigga, like Memphis and shit like that, and niggas is 50, 60 degrees, having 60-degree Christmas. And like, oh no, this shit ain't normal, nigga. And like I said, you know, they're using HAARP to disrupt this vortex, and they create Arctic blasts, which then, and when they're spraying, remember, when they're spraying these, let me make sure I can see this. Okay, yeah, I can. When they're spraying these, remember, look at this. These niggas did circles with these motherfuckers. That is crazy. That is crazy. These niggas just scribble. Anyways, and then look, it spreads out. This shit is not supposed to spread out. It's not supposed to do that. This is what creates your overcast and shit like that. So when they combine that with bring it over here. When they combine this with this, yes, now you're getting artificially made storms, just like the floods. Remember, Texas had a major flood last year, bro. It was in, I forgot where it was at, but it's like an hour away from where I live. And they got hit with some major floods. Like niggas went to sleep. It was just lightly raining. Niggas went to sleep and woke up 4 a.m. Their houses is a pool now. Their houses turned into full-on jacuzzis and pools. And they're like, what the fuck, nigga? We just went to sleep. What happened? They be doing this shit. When they doing this and combine it with this, you get shit like that. And it's not even normal. Let me see if I can look it up real quick. What is it called when a bunch of rain comes down at once? I forgot what it's called. Here it is, right here. I want y'all to look at this. Here we go. This is a real thing. Microbursts. That's what they call it. They're called microbursts. So let me go to all right. A cloud burst. That's what they call. A sudden, intense, and heavy downpour rain, often accompanied by thunderstorms, is mostly called a cloudburst. This can happen with temperature too. I'm gonna show y'all something called Satan's storm. But when you have microbursts or cloud bursts, but this is where a bunch of rain just come down at once. This is not natural. That's not supposed to happen. This is not supposed to happen. This is what be causing your floods and shit. Niggas go to sleep and wake up 3 a.m. Their house is flooded. They're like, what the fuck just happened? These actually take place, and these are actually dangerous as shit too. This is what causes your whiteouts and shit like that. When you driving and it rains so bad, you gotta stop the car. This is what causes that. This is what it looks like too from a let me see. Is this I don't think this is an AI generated image. Yeah, this ain't no AI. But this is what they look like when a cloudburst takes place. So when you seeing that, you know, floods and shit, this is them manipulating the weather. They're taking mass amounts of water, and when it gets to a certain location, when they spray all these, and then when they're watching, because that's what they use their radars. This is what radars, all your weather radars use microwaves. These microwaves burst up into the air, they hit the clouds, and the clouds is what? Water. So this water is going to reflect those microwaves back down to the satellites, and these satellites are able to read what's in the sky off that reflection. It's called reflective radar. It's called reflectivity. Look it up. That's what the radars use. The radars use something called reflectivity. And this is what, you know, you see your greens and your reds on the weather radar and shit. That's what that is. They're using microwaves that go up, hit the clouds, and then they bounce back out the clouds and back into the satellites. And the satellites projects what's going on up there. So remember all your satellites is using those. And when they, like I said, they're tracking these geoengineered systems that they made in the atmosphere, when they're tracking those, once it gets to a certain location, they then boom hit these holes, so that way a bunch of this shit falls down on one spot and it floods out. When it, whether it got to be a land grab or depopulation, because you got to remember they blew up the Georgia Guidestones. They still don't know who blew them bitches up. Remember, y'all. I'm spelling this shit so wrong, but I don't give a fuck. We on one tonight, nigga. Remember, Georgia Guidestones were erected in 1980 near Elberton, Georgia on the 33rd parallel. 10 guidelines for a new world order, inscribed in 8 languages. I thought it was 5, my bad. This structure, often called America's Stonehenge, was destroyed in a bombing on July 6, 2022, and subsequently demolished for safety reasons. So they don't know who, they still to this day don't know who blew that bitch up. They don't know who blew that bitch up. Niggas forget about this. They don't know who blew this bitch up. And then, well, the rest of the shit that was left there, they got rid of it. Sound like somebody trying to cover up some evidence. That's what that sound like to me. Look at this. Look at this. Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. That's some Thanos shit, nigga. Who the fuck said this? Who said this? And then destroyed it. Look, it didn't even get destroyed. It was only one block. Which I wonder which one this was. Because one is written in Sumerian. Yep, here it is right here. One is written in Sumerian. One is written in Mandarin. One is written in, of course, Hebrew or Arabic, wherever you want to call it. One is written in English. And then I think one is written in Spanish and shit. But look, there was 1, 2, 3, 4. And then there was one in the middle, but I don't think there was nothing on it. But yeah, look at this. Only one really got destroyed, and then they got rid of the other 3. And look, niggas made sure they took a shout out to humanity, nigga. Let's look at this. Niggas got the pictures. Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Unite humanity with a living new language. Oh my God. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Cap. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. This sounds like bringing all the governments together under one government. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. Balance personal rights with social duties. Prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. Be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. Now, I can't agree with that shit, because we destroying the shit out of nature. But this right here don't sit right with my soul. Maintain humanity under 500 million? It's 9 billion on the people on the planet. How the fuck are you gonna get 9 billion people to just under 500 million? That's a lot of people. That's like at least 8.5 billion people. Damn, nigga. So let's not forget the Georgia Guidestones. You feel me? Can y'all see that? Yeah, y'all can see that. They blew them bitches up. So, let me pull this shit up too. Let me pull up one more event. Right? There's plenty of events where they don't. The California Fall. Remember the California Fall? It was 1,200 miles long. Remember this? This was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think last month. Remember the California Fall? Oh, God damn. Can y'all see? There we go. My bad, y'all. Here we go. Remember that? Look, this was a 1,200 mile fog. No, my bad. I thought it was they said 1,200 miles. Okay, I guess not. 400, and it was a radiation fog. What the fuck? I thought it was just regular fog. Radiation? Damn, it was killing them niggas in California. Damn. Yeah, this was last month. This is December 11th. A vast sheet of fog, a whopping 400 odd miles long, has been reappearing over California for weeks, satellite images have revealed. From late November to early December, the so-called Tule fog formed along the California Central Valley. Tule fog is caused by light winds and moist soil in the colder months of the year, according to NASA. Cap. They produce that shit. Because why is it radiation? The white low-hanging fog is a form of persistent radiation fog, fortunately as in thermal radiation, not nuclear radiation. Still, it's still emitting some type of energy. This is a fog that's emitting heat, energy. Nuclear radiation is still heat, by the way. A type of fog commonly seen across the United States in autumn and winter. Radiation fog forms and deepens overnight on calm, clear nights, particularly in areas with little to no wind and near bodies of water. When the ground radiates away heat and cools the air above, cools it below to the below the dew point temperature. And it says, meanwhile, the fog is burnt off by evaporation, blah, 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 blah. So remember, this bitch covered the city. Like, look at this. Look at this. And look at the color of it. Like, that don't even look like a normal fog, gang. This look like a normal fog, but still. Look how nasty that shit look. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at this. These are fucking, look how, see how much land that's covering? And it lasted for like 2 weeks, bro. This shit lasted for 2 weeks. So once again, engineered events. And look where it's covering. It was covering the entire LA. Let me see if I can get that picture. This is AI. That look AI as fuck. If I was to see some shit like this in real life, nigga, I would just give up at this point. I'm like, they got it with the weather shit, nigga. Wait, hold on. Go back. Was that really how I was looking? Sheesh. Look at this. Look at this. Man, it was a picture where it was like on the hill, bro. Like the city was just covered, bro. Like, look at that. City just covered. Look how look like an ocean. You wouldn't even know if a city was under here. If you was a giant and you was just walking, nigga, you wouldn't even know shit. You be like, oh, some fog right there, I guess. Boom, you step on a whole city, nigga. Like, look at that. Look at that. This look, it's like we're in the sky. That's regular clouds, my nigga. Like, so I'm gonna pull up another one. Satan Storm, 1960. Heat burst. Remember where I was talking about cloud bursts, where rain could just burst out of the cloud all at once? The same thing can happen with temperature, cold or hot. And this was in Texas, right? Hold on, let me look it up. Where is that? It was in Copper, Texas, Copperell, Texas, in the night of June 15, 1960, because they got a whole documentary of it on YouTube. And it was a storm that came through that night. And when the storm came through, usually when a storm comes through, it gets a little cooler. It might go from 90 degrees to about 80, maybe 70 degrees. But when this storm came, it went from about 90 degrees to almost 140 degrees Fahrenheit, nigga. Hold on. The most infamous heat burst in the United States occurred in June 15, 1960, Lake Whitney, Texas. Yep. And it says went from approximately 70 degrees to a remarkable 140 degrees. That's double the amount. You just took another 70 and added it on. And it said this shit lasted for 4 hours. 4 hours. And this was in 1960. They've been had this tech around. They've been manipulating the shit around this time. This is when they was testing a lot of shit, but they was like, you know, a lot of these tests went wrong and caused certain phenomenons, you know, across different, you know, just look up all the different weather phenomenons back in the day across the United States. And that's just them testing a lot of shit. And a lot of these tests went wrong, but they don't give a fuck because we the guinea pigs that they test on. That's what the United States is all about. Testing on us. Just testing the experiment scientifically. Um, but yeah, okay. Oh, there we go. But yeah, I just wanted to show y'all all that. Geostorm, they engineering a lot of shit. And there's gonna be more to come. The reason why they had to engineer this because it was getting too warm. It's getting too warm for them. These days, when they do that, that's a code for them. Like, hey, we need to go on and uh, formulate some shit because it's getting too hot. We feeling this shit under the ground now. You feel me? That's why they soft closing aliens. They soft closing this shit to you. It's called soft disclosure. It's called soft core, nigga. Where they condition you to it so you get used to it. They people, everybody feel like this year's gonna be the year we find out that there's something we're gonna make contact with something, or we're gonna find out that something's been here this whole time with us. They showed you the movie Bugona. I still gotta watch that. They showing you the movie no one will save you. Go watch that movie. Um and they show you in the movie well they showed you in the trailer for Disclosure Day, the new Steven Spielberg movie coming out this summer. They show you in that they definitely they soft disclosing this shit for you, bro. They putting it out there because they want niggas to be not freak the fuck out. Um, but the things that's gonna be introduced, I'm telling you, they are demons. Don't fuck with it. Keep moving with nature. I don't give a fuck what they show you, what you see. Keep moving with your ancestors and keep moving with nature, nigga. Cause the shit we about to see is not our friends. It is not here for our benefit. Cause if they was, they would have been done some shit eons ago. We had to endure this shit for how long? How much of this slavery we had to endure, nigga? And we still suffering today? And nobody ain't stepped in and did nothing? Yeah, right. They gonna introduce, yeah, they are friends. They're here to help us. No, the fuck they ain't, cause why they ain't been do some shit? Yeah, we've been watching for a long time, but we couldn't interfere. Says who, nigga? We all got free will. If niggas got the free will to traffic the planet, take the kids and shit, abducting niggas and taking them off world, come on now. Niggas got the free will to do that, but they ain't got the free will to come help. Talking about we can't intervene. It will break the balance of the time, space, time continuum. No, the fuck it ain't. Cause if it will break the if it was to break the space time continuum, shit, it should have happened for these niggas too. They intervene and shit ain't shit happened. So, like, come on now, miss me with that shit. Miss me with that shit. Stick with nature and ancestors. I feel like anything that they introduce talking about this extraterrestrial is just a demon, bro. They can shapeshift. Remember, these things can shapeshift. Skinwalkers. They've been talking, our ancestors talk about these things for years. About a being that's been on this planet with us that we've been born with since the beginning. It's our predator. It's our natural predator. Put it like that. It's our natural predator. We back and forth. Like, I can't say natural predator because like I don't know how to explain it. Just know that this thing has been battling with us. It's our natural rival. I ain't gonna say predator, but it's our natural rival. It was here the same time we got here. You feel me? And these beings are demonic in nature, vampiric in nature, vampire energy, vampires. Vampiric demon beings. These things usurp energy. They're parasites. Parasites been around for eons. You have symbiotes, and parasites. Symbiotes, I'm not talking about the shit from Marvel with Venom and shit. No. Symbiotes and parasites. Symbiotes, they get with something, pair with it, because you can do this for me and I can do this for you. It's called a symbiotic relationship. Just like how some tarantulas keep pet frogs. Because when the tarantulas that lay eggs, the mother lay eggs, she can't really defend them motherfuckers because she gotta still go out now and then. So she keeps a pet frog. She don't eat the frog, and the frog in return protects the eggs. And it protects the eggs by eating other bugs that try to come up in that bitch that'll feed off of them. Cause can't no bugs fuck with a frog. The only thing that can fuck with a frog is a spider. So that's a symbiotic relationship. Parasites. Now parasites is different. Now we talk like a tapeworm. Notice any worm is a parasite except the earthworm. That's it. Tapeworms, fluke worms, nematodes. All these are parasites that take but doesn't give anything back. So we've very much been dealing with someone on this planet that takes but doesn't give back. But you got things on this planet that gives. You feel me? That gives and sometimes takes or sometimes give and doesn't take nothing at all. Symbiotes, parasites, difference. And we're gonna be revealed that these things can shapeshift. We've been hearing about it, genies. They call them jinn in the Islamic culture. Jinn or Jinnee for genie. Genie, not with a G, because that's how they spell it in English language, but genie or jinn, which is in the Arabic culture or the Islamic culture, which is these beings, demonic beings. Sometimes what they say they in the Islamic culture, they say they're not demonic. They say they could either be demonic, neutral, or some could be good. Some could be helpful, some could be neutral, and they don't like to interact. And then you got some that like to interact with for malicious intent. So it's positive, negative, and neutral. So genie is known as would be what the Christians call demons. Those are jinns, because you gotta remember, Christians, anything they don't know, they call it a demon. That's what the word is for them. If it's something they don't know and they don't know the mechanics of it, how it works and what it does, it's considered a demon. And a demon is mostly associated with malicious shit too as well. So anything that's malicious, but they also in Christian they describe demons as these fiery fire beings that come from this fiery location known as hell. It's smoke, smoke made from smoke and fire. Smokeless forms, smokeless being, not smokeless forms, formless beings made of smoke and fire. That's what they describe them as, which jinn are described as the same thing. Formless beings made of smoke and fire by God. And then humans was introduced. There was three beings: jinns, what they call demons, angels, which is just the army of God, the military of God or Allah, and then humans who are the babies. We're the newest ones in the game of the gods. We're the newest ones in the spiritual game. Humans, we're the newest. We're the babies. We the newest kid on the block. So you got these other beings that's like, oh, we can manipulate these niggas, bully basically. We can manipulate these little niggas. They new to the block. Let's fuck with them. Keep them away from the Most High. You feel me? So that's what's taking place. Well, and the reason why I say beings like angels are not good neither. You got fallen angels. Nigga, Lucifer was God's most strongest angel. How that nigga fall short and become evil? What happened? So that's what I'm saying. Anything can be in God. If we keep it on the 3D perspective, because I believe God is just nature. Nature. The sun and nature. But if we keep it on a 3D perspective and use Christian knowledge or their theologies, right? The God himself in that book is not good neither, nigga. How the fuck you make angels, demons, and humans and we all turned out fucked up? Angels out here supposed to be the strongest and most disciplined warriors, but they out here mating with human women and creating Nephilim. Like, come on now. How the fuck that happened? And how the fuck they fall anyways? How did lose your most strongest? That's your firstborn. It wasn't Jesus. Even though they say Jesus is the morning star in the Bible, and the morning star is also considered Lucifer. Just saying. And they say that Lucifer was a man with beautiful eyes, pretty hair, and skin. You can look it up. They say Satan comes in the most beautiful form. They say Jesus, the real Jesus, came in a rough form, feet like that of bronze and hair like that of wool, nappy ass hair. He had nigga hair. They just try to be. That's the only time they want to be nice to a nigga. When they trying to use some shit for their own benefit, like, oh no, he had woolly hair. We ain't gonna say nappy. If we say nappy hair, niggas gonna know he was black. They gonna know he was brown. They gonna know he was from Africa. Even though Jesus was born of I think Nazareth, somewhere right there in Arabia or some shit like that. But nigga, that's the desert where all them Africans be at too, nigga. So yeah. Um and you gotta have this, you gotta have this in this to even be out there in that sun in that desert anyways. Ain't no Caucasoid living that shit. Come on now. So um they use that to manipulate niggas. You feel me? And if we use the book itself, like I said, this being called God is not so good himself because all his creations is just running rampant right now. And he's not putting a stop to it, which makes me believe there's something bigger going on here. Like there is no, it's the entity that's playing this God figure is actually a fucking just an ET. Remember, every ancient civilization depicted these gods, Sumerian, Egypt, Mayans. They depicted these beings of high nature that came down. That's why they built pyramids. Pyramids are landing pads, bro. But they always describe these godly beings that came from the skies and came down and taught them technology and taught them this and taught them that. That just sound like beings coming from other places with more advanced technology than us. And the reason why we look at them as gods because we don't have that technology. It's not. This is something we haven't learned yet. It's so out of our league. We consider it God. Like that's what I don't know. That's for some reason the human mind tends to work like that. The it's like some niggas still stuck in caveman format. You feel me? So when they see certain shit, they like, damn, that's some godly shit. When you don't even know that you could learn that shit and do the same shit that they're doing. You just gotta learn it. That's the power of using this. That's the oh my god. Anyways, some niggas still stuck in caveman format. So I believe that's what happened with a lot of these ancients. Some of them like, yes, a lot of these ancients had great technology, but the only reason they had that great technology was because they bumped into these ETs first with this technology. And they looked at them as gods and they said, look, worship us. Some of them said, worship us. Some of them actually came to help because they knew what was going to take place in the future. You feel me? So it's like, it's up in the air. It's up in the air with that. But, when it comes to that, the being in the Bible, especially when you look at the Sumerians, there were beings coming down here, and 9 times out of 10 they were coming in advanced crafts, aerial vehicles. And I believe the pyramids. That's why there's so many pyramids all around the planet because these were landing pads, these were landing spots, these were like your airports or your hubs for them to pull up to, so they know where to locate these civilizations. Like, hey, build these great megalithic structures for me. We gave you the technology. Y'all know how to use the sound to levitate shit. Y'all niggas are already giant too. Use this shit to build these big ass basically like landmarks. They're landmarkers. So that way they know where to pull up at and find the niggas. Build these for us so we can come back to you. That's why we see all these pyramids. I'm just saying. All throughout humanity, from the Bible to the Quran, to the Torah, to the Kabbalah, to the Egyptians, to the Greek god, even the Greek gods, they came out of what? Mount Olympus, from the skies, the heavens. Mount Olympus was considered the heavens. Anything you go, there is something with humans interacting with a higher force of beings that either had played a part in our creation or watched our creation take place. And they came in, they wanted to come in at a time where we reached the pinnacle of our evolution. They waited until where we was competent enough to communicate, have languages. Where did languages? They still, to this day, scientists can't really tell you where language comes from. They don't know how the human like thought of this shit. Like niggas just started speaking one day. Like they don't know how. They can't figure that shit out. All we know is that we had language for a long time. And we've been speaking many different languages over the eons. That's all the scientists know. But how did language, who first thought was like, oh, let me just start speaking? Scientists can't tell you that. They can't tell you that. They don't know where exactly they don't know where it exactly originated from, which is another thing that makes me think there was something here at play that was of higher force. So we see this all throughout humanity, that humans have been interacting with something of higher nature that is very much here in real and physical, just like us, and is either watching us, controlling us, or some are helping us. Who knows? All we know is something's here. There's something here of higher nature. Remember, for we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities in high places. Wicked principalities and wickedness in high places. Remember that. So we dealing with in high places. The motherfuckers watching off the moon and shit. Yeah, nigga, we're playing. Like, come on now, in the ethers, nigga, the astral realm. The realm that you can't even see with the naked eye because it ain't physical. The realm that niggas astral project into. Yeah, that realm. So when it comes to humans interacting with higher forces, something that's always been here, and whatever was here, it lives and breathes just like us. It more than likely ages probably a little slower because they probably have longer telomeres and shit, and they not genetically tampered with, and they not getting hit with chemtrails and geoengineering and poison foods and shit, and having they growth stunted, and they not getting hit with that. So I would assume that their telomeres are 10 times longer than ours, which means if we live up to 100 years or shit, the max is 70 from what they say. But we've seen humans live up to 112 and 15 years. So if the max is 120, I'll put a 120 cap on humans. Humans can live up to 120 years. Whatever this is that we came into contact with during the biblical times, the Egyptian times, the Mayan times, the ancient civilization times, these things probably have telomeres 10 times longer than us. Or we ain't even, just to keep it on a realistic perspective, we'll just say 3 times longer than ours. So they probably can live up to 300, 400 years cap. We're going to cap it out at 400 years. So that means they age slower. That means they could be in their 40s and still look like they in their 20s, or in their 50s and still look like they in their 30s, or in their 60s and still look like they in their 40s. Meanwhile, us humans, we can be in our 30s and still look like we're in our 20s, or be in our 20s and still look like we in our late teens, or be in our 40s and still look like we 30. You see what I'm saying? Because we do have a decent cap on our age limit. But when we looking at a being that has a longer age limit to do more things across the planet and their local planet and across their local galaxy, and then other galaxies, nigga, that's a different ball game. Because these niggas can live up to 400 years old. That means by the time they 100, nigga, they still looking like they 50 or 40. You like, damn, nigga. Shit, I can't even say that. Actually, nigga, for a fact, they probably, if we say in 400 years, let's say 3 times longer than us. So let's bring it back down to like 300, 250 to 300. So that means by the time a nigga's 50, they still 50, 60 years old, they still look like they 30, 20, depending on how good they taking care of themselves. In peak physique. Because of telomeres that's in your DNA. Telomeres are like little clocks. They're little clocks that are on your DNA. They're timers. And the more they shorten, you can lengthen them too. You can lengthen them by eating healthy and shit like that, taking care of yourself, doing all these things like cryogenics, if red light therapy and shit like that, float therapy where float inside a sensory deprivation tank, all those different things that niggas do to keep the biohack their bodies and lengthen their life. Those are ways of lengthening your telomeres, and you can shorten your telomeres by eating shit like processed foods, fast foods, red meats and shit like that. These shorten your telomeres. This is why some motherfuckers look like they 40 but they really 30 years old, or a motherfucker look like they 50 but really they 35. Like life been whooping their ass. So that's how it be because they not taking care of their body. Um. So yeah, whatever we potentially dealing with here, 9 times out of 10, physically, physically peaks. They outclass us. Probably in size, stamina, energy, all that, bro. Because we're the cattle down here being manipulated with. We're the guinea pigs being experimented on a day-to-day basis, gang. Think about it. And whatever is here feeds off the blood of us. We're the food, gang. We don't even know where all this meat coming from. How many meat? How many cow? Let's do the math, right? How many cows are in the world? 1.5 billion to 1.557 billion head of cattle. So there's 1.5 billion cattle in the world right now, right? How many? 40,000. 40,000. That's a lot of McDonald's, nigga. A lot of meat. How many people in the world? 9 billion? Yeah. Yeah. That you mean to tell me 1 billion cows is feeding 9 billion people? How many cows in America, bro? There's 94 million cows in America. And then how many people are in America? How many people are in America? 343 million. So that went up. So damn, we yeah, about we gained it was 333 2020. So we gained about 10 million more people. Where did 10 million of y'all motherfuckers come from? That quick. So you mean to tell me 10 million niggas just spawned out of nowhere in 5 years? Niggas still gotta grow up and shit first. Niggas still gotta grow up and shit. Where these 10 million niggas just come from? Is that including immigrants like that come here, get their green card, get their visas, and now they're considered a citizen? Like, is that I don't know. But ain't no way 94 million cows is feeding that many people in America on a day-to-day basis. I'm just saying. This is why they use growth hormones and shit like that in the chickens and shit. Like, come on now. Where all this meat coming from, gang? They ain't just using animals, gang. Putin already said it. Nigga, he said it in a live speech in front of everybody in Russia, nigga. The Americans be eating each other, and they gonna find out that they eat each other. Because a lot of these other countries are gonna start revealing shit on America. China already said they're gonna expose that America was the ones that created COVID-19. They said that like 2-3 days ago. They said we gonna show the world that nigga they was the ones that we got strong evidence that they did that shit. That's crazy. And no telling what. And then Russia talking about we over here eating each other. So you mean tell me they putting human flesh in the food, nigga? Is that where all these bodies going? Are they even burying bodies anymore? Now I see why my granny. Now I see why my granny said cremate me. Cremate me. Fuck that. Put me in what? Cremate me. Take my ashes and put them bitches in the ocean. Cause ain't niggas can't get nah. I don't need them niggas keeping my like. That's crazy. So we don't know what's going on right now with this meat shit. We don't know where all this meat coming from. Pause. We don't know where the fuck it's coming from. And I feel like we should be questioning that shit, bro. We should be questioning that. That's why I be trying to avoid that shit now. Like, every time I look at it, I be like, damn, I want some chicken patties, nigga. Make a fire ass chicken sandwich. I should be like, damn, though. I know I ain't eating 12-year-old Sarah that's been missing for the past 2 or 3 years. And she's in this fucking package of Tyson's spicy chicken patties that I got right here. Like, oh God. It's just fucking man. That fucking hurts to think about, bro. So I'm like, fuck it, I gotta go to seafood now. I gotta eat shit like crab meat and fucking that shit expensive, but I'd rather pay that and eat that. Crab meat, some motherfucking shrimp. I'm paying for it, nigga, because I got the money for it. Fuck it. And we just gonna lean a little towards more different meals, pastas and shit like that, cause salads and shit, cause I can't keep eating that shit. Like, and I noticed too, every time like I eat meat, bro, certain meats, like especially like chicken, bro, the ones that be coming like Tyson's, like tight, cause I used to work at Wingstop, right? And it was a brand, I forgot what company it was, bro. But their chicken, when I used to take it and dump it to fry it in the fryers, when I used to work at Wingstop, whatever chemicals they put on that shit used to make my hand itch like a motherfucker. Like, you can ask anybody that work at Wingstop, bro. They gonna tell you, yes, there's a certain brand of chicken that we do get, and when we touch it with our bare hands, it makes your shit itch like a motherfucker. Whatever chemical on there, it itches, bro. Like, you be scratching your hand for a long time. You gotta wash your shit like 3, 4 times just to make sure that shit good. So I'm like, I don't know what they're doing to it. We don't know what they doing to shit nowadays, bro. And I feel like we should question that. But at the end of the day, we see what's going on. It's only gonna get more chaotic from here. We get hit with X class solar flares. Um, People are seeing more things in the sky. We're seeing different weather events. It's only gonna get more crazier. Salt Lake City got hit with like I think a 4.7 earthquake the other day. We're seeing more earthquakes in America, which is kind of interesting, bro. Like, we seen California get hit with an earthquake, and then they had a tsunami warning for like a good 24 to 48 hours, but luckily no tsunami came. This was sometime last year. Um, but we're seeing a lot of tornadoes in the middle. What Oklahoma got right before it was right. It was like 2 or 3 weeks before this winter storm. Nigga, Oklahoma got hit with some damn tornadoes in the middle of December, and then now 2 or 3 weeks later they're getting hit with this strong ass ice storm. Come on now, come on now. And then we going from 80-degree temps to the next night. It dropped 40 degrees in like 2 hours, 3 hours. We have a random cloud burst of temperature rises and temperature, decreases. Like, come on now. Mm-mm. Something strange going on. But I appreciate y'all, value y'all, and like always, stay in tune, man. One love, make universal love, y'all. The day after tomorrow, I'm out.